Good morning. It is a fairly pleasant Wednesday morning, May the 8th, no, May the 7th, and I've got two drinks on the go. It's about 8:25. I've been up about an hour just pottering, and I thought I'm very late to my own #PT tag club party. I have not done my tag for the Aboriginal prompt, and I know that some of you have, and I've really enjoyed seeing them. You've got until the 9th of May if you want to be entered into the next random prize draw for a little handmade giveaway from me as a token of my appreciation for you joining in this little club. So I've got my cup of Earl Grey tea. Weak black in my big mug, and I've also got alongside it, because I'm trying to look after myself, I feel a bit meh, guys, and I've got no crafting mojo. I've got disgusting glass. It was a clean glass, you wouldn't know it, would you? I've got a Barocco knockoff multivitamin type thing, which is very refreshing actually. Anyway, stop wittering on, girl. So I pulled the prompt Aboriginal. Now 30 years ago, when hubby and I got married, I was very lucky to go to Australia for our honeymoon. We went for 5.5 weeks in total. I think we had 5 weeks in Australia and then 3 nights in Hong Kong on the way back. And we went to the outback and went to various little trips and things. Went to Ayers Rock. And hubby actually climbed it in the days where you were allowed to climb it. I started, but it's very slippy. The terrain wasn't what I was expecting. It is sandstone, but it was quite slippy, and people have fallen off, sadly, and died. So the Indigenous people have kind of banned climbing Ayers Rock going forward. But I did walk round it and saw some of the wonderful original drawings from hundreds of, if not thousands of years ago. Anyway, one of the souvenirs that I brought back from a little Aboriginal camp that we went to, these clapping sticks, and you'll see that they're just literally sticks. I love these. I've kept them all this time, and obviously they're hand painted, and a lot of the Aboriginal art takes inspiration from these little dotty things. So we're going to have a faint nod to Aboriginal art today. And then I don't know whether we bought these or whether my parents bought them or whether my in-laws bought them in their subsequent trips to Australia. But I've got these coasters, and you can see there's a similar colour palette going on with these. There's another two, but they're upstairs. We use them in the bedroom for our glasses mugs. So I've got the crab, the turtle, the kangaroo or wallaby, and the crocodile, I guess. But yeah, so we're going to have a little gentle nod to this, and I thought I'd bring in this to do a bit of stenciling with. And I've also got this Lavinia mask. But before we go any further, I'm going to just very lightly spray my card with a bit of colour. So taking inspiration from Andrea, the Cumbrian crafter, she sent me some lovely happy mail last week, and her background had been used with Distress Tim Holtz sprays. I don't know whether these actual spritz ones, but do you know, I haven't even opened this. You have to shake them to get the ball rolling, and these have been sitting a long time, and it what's the word, it mixes up all the pigment and everything. So any of the Tim Holtz sprays, in fact any sprays really, they should have a mixing ball in them. God, I can't get in there. Gosh, it just shows, doesn't it? I bought these when they came out, thought I must have them, and I haven't used all of them. And they're sitting on my lovely display shelf in kind of rainbow colour order, gathering dust. Right, so hopefully I should be able to get into this now. Just going to put the lid back on and just give a shake. That is working. And I don't want to dominate this, and I probably will. That is the fossilised amber. And then the other colour that I've got, which I also haven't opened, but the rollerball is going. That's good. I did give these a shake before I came on camera. I'm trying to be organised and not keep you too long, but you can flip a neck. I've just stabbed myself with my scissors. You can see that I'm going to be here ages opening this. They don't make these easy to open, do they? I suppose it is good for kind of transit purposes, but I also haven't got any strong fingernails to get down the crack. Blue's come to say hello. I've been awake since about 5 o'clock this morning. Been scrolling through Facebook. I saw that one of Anne Lane's cats was 11. Chili was 11. So I wished Chili many happy returns. But actually Blue, if you'd like to send her a birthday card, she's going to be 10 on the 10th of... No, sorry, on the 13th of May. She'll be 10. So here I have now got my spiced marmalade. So trying to keep these earthy colours. If you ever get a chance to go to Australia, it is the most fantastic country. That's all I'm going to do with that. And typical, I haven't got any kitchen roll on hand. Bear with a minute. I've been going ages and I've not actually done anything yet, have I? Yeah, so Blue is going to be 10 next week on the 13th of May. She would appreciate a card with some fish on it or something, wouldn't you, Blue? I'm only joking. Right, there we go. So I've just got quite a subtle background there because I didn't want to just go on to a purely white card. This is the watercolour cardstock from Hazel Eaton. I think it is anyway, or it might be the Relatively Thoughtful. I don't know. I've cut this to 4 inches wide by 7 inches. Can you see the sparkle on that? The mica, it's really nice. So I'm going to come in with this one now and trying to kind of replicate these waves. And I don't want a lot of colour that dominates. But I thought the thing with the circles, I can go in and do a little bit of pointillism, as it were. Right, I'm not even going to add any ink. And we're just going to see what happens, because I've got no inks on the table. That is that. And then I think I want a dark colour. Should we go a bit of red? No. Oh, you see, I've messed it up already, guys. I should have done... I'm going to do a bit of blue. I should have done... What's the word I'm looking for? Lighter at the top, going darker towards the bottom. That's nice, actually. And we'll do that again. I've got a bit of splodgage there, but never mind. And I'm just flipping this to get a bit of extra coverage. And this is kind of just as like a background for my points. And then I've got this very dark blue here. And we'll come in with this at the bottom. Like so. Ooh. It's not what I envisaged when I first started this, but do you know what? It is what it is. Right, now, don't know what I'm going to do with this leaf mask. I'm not very good at using masks, to be fair. I was thinking that I might draw around it and stencil it. Maybe I'll stencil it in brown and draw around it. What do you guys think? I wish I... You see, if I go in with my stencil tool, I'm going to get stuff everywhere. Oh, the cat's being a menace. I haven't got a... Yeah, I'm going to go brown. I'm going to use this brush. And just gently. I wish I'd also... What's the word I'm looking for? stuck it down with some tape before I started stenciling. Turn your work. It's looking a hot mess, and I've just moved it, so I need to make sure I line that up perfectly. Sorry if you're getting my head in the shot. I haven't brushed my hair yet, so it's all sticky uppy. There we go, I think that's okay. Bit of dark down there. Right, now I'm going to attempt to draw around it. What's that? That's a gold Posca pen. Don't want that, do I? I'm going to really mess this up, guys, you know. I don't want to use black because I think that'll be too harsh. Ooh, I wonder what happens if I take this away. Does it look like a leaf? Or does it just look like a hot mess? Oh, it kind of does look like a leaf. Bear with. I'm going to find a pen. Talk amongst yourselves on the back row. Blue's looking on very interestedly. So I've got these two pens. That's not quite right. Should we do this green? Yeah, I'm going to do that. Just line it up because it has shifted. You can get spray that you spray on your stencils and they will stick to your surface. Can you hear me holding my breath? Yes, I said I was feeling a bit meh and I'd lost my mojo. I've lost my mojo for everything, you know, really. You know, I've got another channel, One Stitch After Another. I haven't put a video on there for absolutely ages. It's not too shabby. It's not too shabby at all. Now, this is where hopefully the interesting stuff is going to happen. I'm just going to put those to one side to wash in a minute. I have got some acrylic paint. And I've got some paint brushes that have got different, I don't know whether you can see, different sized ends. So I can do big circles and I can do little circles, and I'm going to just do some little dots, and I don't need very much paint at all. This is Pebeo Studio Acrylics. When Hobbycraft have got sales on, you can get these half price, and they're very much worth investing in when they're half price. And I've had these a long time and they do last a long time. Probably got way more there than I need. I'm going to have some white as well. You could use a white Posca pen. Way too much there, Ashley. Way too much. Absolutely bonkers. Right. So I'm going to go with my biggest brush in my darkest colour. And let's just randomly do Can you hear the birds singing outside? Well, that wasn't in the centre. And I know it looks a bit of a hot mess here with different patterns, but I quite like that. Well, I've got to say that, haven't I? I'm just creating my own design on this. Okay, I'm doing another one there. I think that probably is enough of that colour. And then I'm going to come in with the gold and my next size brush down. I'm going to do some gold in all these pale blues. If you're interested in Aboriginal history, not that this is truly Aboriginal history, there's a wonderful film based on the memoir of an Aboriginal lady. I forget her name now, but the film is called The Rabbit-Proof Fence. And it follows the story of a young girl and her little sister and her cousin, and they're half caste, which is not a very politically correct term to use today. So their mum was Aboriginal and their dad was white Australian, and he'd been working on the rabbit-proof fence. And it was a big fence that was constructed to keep the rabbits out of certain areas where crops were being grown. And this happened a lot, that there were a lot of half-caste children born, and the Australian government at the time, I think it was during the 1930s, didn't like it, and they sent these children to places thousands of miles away from their home to train them how to be white Australian. And they trained them so that they could go into domestic service. And this girl and her sister and her cousin escaped. They were forced to speak English, which wasn't their main language, and forced to follow a Christian religion, which they didn't believe in, and made to do really nasty jobs, really. And there was a lot of sexual abuse as well. Anyway, this girl and her sister and her cousin escaped, and they walked all the way home. It's an amazing film based on a true story. I'm not sure whether the woman's English type name was Doris. I can't remember. I used to know the story really well, and it's very heartwarming. It is one of the most beautiful films I've ever seen. As I say, it is based on true events. So this is just my little nod to Aboriginal art, just doing the pointillism thing. Not very well, I hasten to add. Oh, look, you see, I had too much paint on there. And what I'm going to do, I don't know whether that is dry there. I wonder if I can layer white on the copper. Kind of. Yeah. I'm going to come back when that is dry. Look at all this paint I've wasted here, and just add a couple of finishing touches. It's been a little while. This isn't quite dry, but you know, it is what it is. I've thought I don't like this thin line, so I'm going to probably spoil this by going around it with this thicker alcohol marker. And my drawing skills, as you can see, are not particularly good. But I just thought it would make this leaf pop a little bit more on the background. And looking in retrospect, I haven't done anywhere near enough kind of dotting. But, you know, this is just, as we said, a nod to Aboriginal art. So I think actually I like that. That's not bad at all. I'm going to go around the edge with a bit of ink, if I can find a blending tool. I know I've got one here somewhere. So I've just got a bit of vintage photo. Just going to go round the edge, just very, not the, also makes the tag shape just a little bit more defined. I'm glad that I used that little bit of turquoisey blue, but I didn't realise that the ink that was on the dark was purple rather than dark blue. But, you know, it is what it is. And I've had a little play, which has been quite nice because I've done hardly any paper crafting this year to speak of, really. I wonder if I can actually do another line around this leaf. I'm going to go inside. I was talking about the rabbit-proof fence earlier. I do know that one of the girls is called Molly, but I'm not sure whether that is the, I think that is the oldest girl. Now, the reason I'm giving this a thicker line is that I'm going to try a bit of white spots with my ink, with my Posca paint pen in a minute. But I've just gone ahead already while this was drying, and I've cut a couple of birds out of my Tim Holtz bird collection because I thought that would be quite nice and gives a nod to kind of the coasters that I had where there was a creature over that kind of dotty background. So I think I'm going to have it like that. Just get a bit of gluage, and I'm probably going to struggle with this glue because I haven't used it for ages. Me saying actually that I've not done much crafting recently. I've done a bit of knitting. And my craft and chat sessions at school are going well. I made really nice Mother's Day cards. Which the kids really enjoyed making and were quite complex. And one of my groups, there's 2 girls in year 10 and 1 girl in year 11 who's obviously going to be leaving school soon. I'm doing a little fold out folio album with them, which they're really enjoying. I think we'll have that like that there. Okay, now let's see if I can get these Posca pens to work. Do you have to shake a Posca pen to make it work? I don't know. And can I get into this? These Posca pens, I think I have talked about before. I know you can't currently see anything. I'm going to use the yellow for a little eye dot and the white to go round this leaf. There's a shop in Birmingham, I forget what it's called, Cass Art or something I think it is, and these were really cheap. Well, not really cheap, they were £27.60, recommended retail price £67.49 for 16 pens. So just do a little eye there, little eye there. These are the fine tip, I think. And then let's see if we can get this working. Just a little bit around here. And then you know me, I'm going to add a Tim Holtz sentiment probably. This is a good Posca pen. I bought a Posca pen from Hobbycraft and it didn't work. On first using it, it exploded and I hadn't got the receipt, so I couldn't take it back. And so these are the fine tip. I think Lavinia uses these a lot, doesn't she? But that's given me a little bit more dottage. I wonder if that'll sit inside there. Yes. There we go, a bit more. I do like the little bit of subtle shimmer I've got going on with the mica spray in the background. and the little bit of metallic paint that I've got. This little bird's foot sticking up, but never mind. Right, now I'm looking for something to do with kind of dreaming, because the Aboriginals, part of their history, their storytelling history, is dream time. So charming's quite nice, but every detail of their journey, that could be quite nice. So there's some things on there. Ah, wonderful dream. I'm going to have that. But where to put it? I think I'm going to have it near the top, like so. Oh, could have it so that this bird is kind of sitting on it almost. No, I'm going to have it where I first thought, like so. There. And that is my little taggage done. Now, every month I do a little random giveaway. And last month, yeah, so people who have joined in, if they tag me, you can leave a comment on the video, you can email me. I'll make sure my email is in the description box. You can tag me, but I'm hopeless at social media. I really, really am. For somebody who posts on YouTube, I am just dreadful on social media. But anyway, I just thought I want to put a little white dot in there. And that paint wasn't fully dry, so I've got a little bit of copper paint on my white paint pen now. Yes, yeah, for somebody who makes YouTube videos, my social media presence is just awful. So emailing me is the best way, or commenting on one of my videos is another way that I'm probably more likely to see you. So I make a little handmade something every month, and it's different every month. It's just whatever I fancy doing. And last month's prize winner was Margaret Flaxman. So Margaret, if you happen to be watching, switch off now because I'm going to show what I'm putting in the post for you today. Still got my Barocca, which has gone a bit flat. Oh, and look, I've smudged there. Never mind. So this is what I've made for Margaret. So it's a little, this is the front, I think. Yes, this is the front. If I take everything out this side. So I've taken a 9x9 piece of double-sided paper. This is from Heartfelt Creations. I think it's Sugar Hollow, if memory serves me correct. And you cut it on a diagonal. I saw a tutorial on it and the person used 12x12, but I can't cut 12x12 on the diagonal on either of my paper trimmers. So I did 9x9. I managed to do it on my A4 paper trimmer. And then you put one of the flat edges, the 9-inch side, in your score board or on your score tool, and you score at 3 and 6. And then you just fold. And then I've made a little pocket here. And glued this side down here. You snip it, you'd be left with a funny little shape. You snip that off. Could have rounded the corners here, but it gives me 2 pockets here. So I used some of the elements from the collection, and I thought these were really cute. So there's like little postage stamps she can cut up. I've made a tag that she can put in a journal, and I've just put this paper on the back so she could actually write on it, because I think it's got this paper on the back which would be difficult to write on. So I've just made a little tag. I thought the owls were really cute, and it says imagination. Get in. And then on this little pocket here, there's a tag that I've cut out. Could be a gift tag. And then you're a hoot. And then I've just put this little sentiment here, by the light of the moon, because obviously owls are nocturnal creatures. And then I've got a little pocket on the back. So the bit that I cut off was this triangle, and I've made another little pocket on the back. And we've got another little tag and a little foldy thing. So Margaret could put some plain paper in there, and she could put that in a journal and write in it. And then I will always be there for you, which I thought was quite sweet. And then to be cheerful and optimistic. And it doesn't really matter which way is the front. I don't know how I'm going to present it, but that will be going in the post hopefully today for Margaret. So yeah, if you want to win a little something, join in hashtag PT Tag Club. I'm quite looking forward to seeing what the prompts will be this month. We will be pulling 2. So come back on Sunday to see what the next month's prompts are. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'll be back very soon. Take care. Bye now.